Charles Barkley interviewed Adam Silver, and Adam explained why he's giving up to the NBA players.
One of the suggestions, the All-Star game didn't go well. It's been kind of fluid the last few years.
See, I thought it went well. And then I came back to work that I said I thought it was a great time because I love that event. Charles goes, no, I didn't think it went well. I did.
Well, it wasn't appeasing to the fans. Have you ever considered the United States against the world?
Well, no, it's true. And speaking of Barcelona, so we've thought a lot about that. And I think our feeling going into Indiana for the All-Star game this year, and you were obviously both there, was we had one more opportunity to go, in essence, back to basketball. That Larry Bird was sort of our honorary captain. You think of basketball, Larry Bird, Indiana. We'd gone back to the traditional East versus West format. We'd move away from that draft we were doing the last several years. We had done those sort of kind of like special endings, so we went back to 48-minute game. We talked to players before the game, and you're right, and it was a great weekend, but it wasn't a basketball game. Yeah. And I'm just wondering now, and it's a good conversation to have, whether this generation of players, and the teams are complicitous too, because nobody wants them to play hard at the All-Star game.
Nobody wants them to get hurt.
Nobody wants them to get hurt. They see it as a mid-season break. I think of something that was a huge attraction, for example, Sabrina against Steph.
Sabrina. That was my favorite. That was a highlight.
I mean, it says so much about the game. Yeah. So I think maybe as opposed to trying to create a super competitive basketball game, which I'm not sure the teams or the players really want at that moment.
Do you think
we should do more fun.
No,
well, it's interesting. I've talked to, I'm sure you have too. I talked to a lot of players after the game, and I didn't get the sense that they went out there and said, well, we know what the league wants, and we know they want us to, TNT wants us to play hard, but we're just not going to do it. I think it's just sort of, once they got out there, I think particularly young players, they see it as, again, a mid-season break, an opportunity to have fun, an opportunity to take break from a very long season. We should just be looking to do different things and just make it a celebration of basketball. I mean, we're going to look at U.S. versus International. I just think maybe we're past that point where we're going to play a truly competitive game. And by the way, it's happened in other sports.
Especially if the players aren't into it.
Some of the answers Adam Silver had are completely ridiculous. I hate this comparison of the NFL Pro Bowl to the NBA All-Star Game. Football is a violent sport. You don't see guys in the offseason playing full-on tackle football at the park. NBA players play harder in the offseason in pickup games when there's no fans paying their hard-earned money to watch. And to say that it's a break for the players when the players already load manage a quarter of the season is just nonsense. The length of the NBA season hasn't changed. Why is this just becoming a problem now? NBA players have never had this issue of playing hard in the All-Star game, and no one is asking them to play like it's a playoff game. All we're asking is to show a little bit of effort, but these answers from Adam Silver shouldn't surprise you. Here's what he had to say about player salaries going up.
You have to, and I told Gayle, I said, you technically work for the owners, but you've been very friendly to the players. How do you balance that when you're trying to negotiate a new television deal? Like, I want to make my owners happy because
to keep both sides happy, you mean?
Like, which is impossible.
Is it?
How do you judge that?
Frankly, when I'm sitting down and talk about television media, that I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't think of the fans first.
Okay.
I mean, there are consumers. If we don't find a way to present our game on networks where people can find and present it in a place where they produce it the way you and your colleagues do at TNT, and great job that ESPN does, people aren't going to watch it. When you watch a movie and they're the stars you see on the screen, so to the extent that interest continues to grow, and I think basketball is the fastest growing sport in the world, and we're unique in terms of the NBA in terms of our global appeal, that there's no reason player salaries shouldn't continue to grow, and I think that's healthy. And again, in terms of...
Players will like that answer,
but I also think in terms of what fans think, again, do people begrudge Taylor Swift or Beyonce or Jay-Z or any great entertainer? Or by the way, you're earning a nice living too.
It's amazing how this guy says he cares about the fans while giving the players whatever they want, no matter what. Every time he speaks, he digs himself and the NBA into a bigger hole, giving the players more power and going against the fans at every turn. Adam Silver suggesting NBA fans are just jealous of NBA player salaries ignores the actual problem. The product has gotten worse and viewership is down. The reason why fans are skeptical of NBA players earning more, it removes their incentive to do anything about it. Why play the games when contracts are guaranteed? Why would you care about the fans if no matter what, you're going to earn more money? Talk about being tone deaf. Another problem with Adam Silver is he never addresses the core issues. He thinks he can avoid the league's problems if he keeps adding or changing things.
I hadn't thought of this, that even players would get up because they see that the court's different. When somebody walking through an airport, in a bar, or in flipping their channels and seeing something different is going on tonight, because the court looks very different.
We don't need the All-Star game. We have Steph versus Sabrina. We don't need competitive games. We have the in-season tournament. If we just keep changing the rules, players will start to care. He's too afraid to call out the players directly and make a real difference like David Stern. It doesn't matter how you change the court or change the rules or how many tournaments there are. At the end of the day, the players have to care to make the product enjoyable. The only good thing Adam Silver has done was the 65 game rule, and it pissed off a lot of players. If you want to see more about that, I'll leave the video here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.